Stadium. Going out of conference tonight after a 2-0 start. As the Kansas Jayhawks out of the Big 12 making their way to Chestnut Hill take on Boston College. Well, it's not Freddie versus Jason, but this broadcast booth is still pretty scary. Mark Herzlich, Chris Cotter with you. Boston College, nothing scary about their start. They're 2-0, but it's about the way they've played in those two games. Really impressive.
Yeah, and they started last year 3-0, so they're used to this hot start. It's been something that the fans have absolutely loved, and we've been really impressed with their play up in this booth.
And a big part of that play has been their quarterback. Look, we know A.J. Dillon at that tailback spot is going to give you everything, but Anthony Brown has been sensational. He
really has, and Steve Addazio talked all year about winning the turnover battle. They're +5 in the turnover differential, and one of the reasons is Anthony Brown's not throwing interceptions. Yep. What he's doing is he's getting the ball vertically downfield to his receivers. He's throwing an accurate deep ball this year, which is providing an element that Boston College has not had in the most recent future. They're not just ground and pound, giving the ball to A.J. Dillon 21 times. Now that it's on the shoulders of Anthony Brown, their star quarterback.
Number 13 hopes that Friday the 13th is not unlucky for him. He's hoping to have a good game tonight. You know what's interesting about this game, too? Kansas come into town. That man right there, the hat, is back on the sideline. For more on that, Kelsey Riggs joins us down in the field.
Well, Chris, Les Miles knows that he has a lot of work to do with this Kansas program, especially after last week's loss to Coastal Carolina. And we talked to him about that in our meetings this week, and he says it took a good 48 hours for him and his players to get over that loss. But he says that he went back to them and he talked to them, and he says that we are not that Kansas program. He says practice was a little bit more quiet, a little bit more crisp this week, but that's a good thing, because he said if you don't have a little pain, a little more quiet after a loss like that, then something is wrong. He says they are a different team, and we'll see tonight if they are, in fact, any different and any better tonight against Boston College.
Thank you, Kelsey. Kansas won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half, so they will kick off to Boston College, and we'll get a chance to see Anthony Brown and that Eagle offense first off in this game. Liam Jones will tee it up for Kansas. There's a good look at Coach Addazio in his 7th season here at BC. He's fired up as he always is before the game, animated, boisterous.
He's looking like he's already frustrated about something.
Travis Levy back to receive for Boston College. Liam Jones puts toe to leather, and we're underway. Levy from his 6. Has blockers in front. To the 26, he's cut down that time after a 20-yard return by Kenny Logan Jr. A.J. Dillon, Anthony Brown. They had a very impressive win on opening night. We were here for it against Virginia Tech. That was a key ACC win for them. They went out of conference last week against Richmond. Now they're back out of conference taking on a Kansas team, and BC will go fast. Brown from the gun. Out to his tight end. Caught by Garrison. Najee Stevens-McKenzie makes the stop, but BC off to a good start.
BC's going fast already. They went empty first play of the game with 2 tight ends. Now they're back up on the ball already.
Dillon in the backfield. He'll get the carry. Up the middle. Big hole. Bounces it outside. Clears one tackler. Now he's going to get to midfield. Stiff arms another one. And finally run out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the Jayhawks. Drew Prox chasing.
Late flag on the play, too. Could be an extra 15 yards on this one. And that run by A.J. Dillon, he just bounced it to the outside and outran everybody. That's one of the things that you don't expect out of a 250-pound running back.
After the play, unnecessary roughness by number 40 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Just taking a look at it as Cooper Castleberry, our referee on the night, gives us the call.
Yeah, it's a little extracurricular after the play.
That's a very little extracurricular.
I don't know. He made contact in the field of play and just let him go.
Dillon again to carry. Powers his way through that first initial surge and picks up 5.
He's done such a great job of following his blocks and talking to Steve Addazio, who said he's so fast. Sometimes you got to be patient and find that gap, and did there.
Eagles not wasting any time. Again to Dillon. Huge hole. Stiff arm to the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Eagles.
Almost got tackled by the ref there. Ref gave a little help to Kansas, but again, the clock's still moving. They've ran about 5 plays and still 13:45 on the clock. They're moving fast, this Boston College offense.
First and goal now from the 2. Hand off to Dillon, over the top, and he's in.
Gracious. That was big, 250 pounds. Decided, hey, guess what? I'm just going to fly right now. Took off and leaped over the pile. Watch this right here. He takes off from about the 3-4 yard line. See if his elbow's down before the ball crosses. It looks like it might have been short. Let's see.
When the elbow hits there, it looks like the ball is too hard to
I think it's too close to call.
Every score is reviewed. I certainly don't see enough evidence there that would be able to bring that one back.
No.
Aaron Blumeri for the point after try. The transfer from Temple. Puts it home, and BC up early.
And that's what Boston College wants to do opening drive. Get the ball to your play. I mean, it's like A.J. Dillon show. He's just marching down the field, and they went so fast. They ran, it seemed like 10 plays, and the clock has barely hit 12. I mean, it's a thing that Boston College is planning on doing over and over and over and over again. And so far on that one drive, it doesn't look like Kansas had any answers. Let's see how they change and adjust, but sometimes you just can't adjust. You just got to tackle the big back.
Danny Longman to kick off for Boston College. And deep to receive it for Kansas. On his own 8, runs into his own man, spins and stays on his feet before being brought down by Travis Levy. Our first opportunity to see Carter Stanley, quarterback for Kansas, senior out of Vero Beach, Florida. Struggled in his first couple of games, especially last week against Coastal Carolina in the loss.
Yeah, he did, and he threw 2 picks in that game that really hurt Kansas's momentum throughout the game. They did a decent job moving the ball on the ground, especially with the quarterback runs, but they could not get anything going through the air.
Out to Puka Williams in the flat. At least one man miss. Able to pick up maybe a yard before being brought down by Joe Sparacchio.
Puka Williams is going to do that to you sometimes. You saw John Lamont was out in the flat trying to just stand in front of him. That's really all he got to do was just stand in front of Puka Williams. Because once Puka Williams made a move, he was gone. And it's the other players rallying to the ball. They're going to have to tackle this guy. He's so hard to bring down one-on-one.
Williams again in the backfield, flanking Stanley. This time the fake to him goes over the top. Had a receiver, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Ellen Track. Continues to stay on his feet. He's out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. BC back in business.
And that's exactly what you do not want to see from your quarterback if you're Kansas and Les Miles on the sideline. Preached all week, make good decisions when you're back in the pocket. First real throw down the field of the game. He gets plenty of time and he just doesn't get the ball in there and lofts it, doesn't plant his front foot very well. And now he comes up and makes a tackle, and you don't want your quarterback tackling anybody at the end of any play. And that's what happened there. So we'll see how long his leash is throughout this game. There's a quarterback battle in camp. And maybe we'll see the backup at some point throughout this one.
Brown has time. Try to find Zay Flowers. Speedster, the freshman. Couldn't hook up with him. Avon Ferguson on the coverage.
Zay Flowers has been something really pleasant in terms of a surprise for this Boston College offense and really the Boston College team. His ability to get open down the field and hit some sweeps provides extra explosion that Boston College is lacking in the pass game.
Dillon. Through the middle, picks up about 5 yards, maybe 4. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Boston College is still going no huddle, but it's not that intense speed they had in the first play. I don't know if they can sustain the whole game.
On the gun, C.J. Lewis. And again, could not quite connect on the outright. Hassan defense, one of the best names in all of college football, defending on the play. And they'll bring up 4th down. And decision time here for Coach Adazio. The kicking game has not been friendly to the Eagles here over the last couple of years, but they feel like they got a kid in Aaron Boumeri who can hit these field goals. The kid who transferred in from Temple in the offseason.
Yeah, and you know, when Coach Adazio went to Boumeri and said, "Hey, what's your range?" He said, "Hey, anything inside 30, I'm money.
This is 40 right here.
So this is not money range, but let's see how he does. This is a place that Boston College really struggled last year.
Kick is up, and it's good. We got a flag on the play. Boumeri boots it in. You can see his teammates' reaction, but we got a flag on the play, so let's check that.
Offside by number 5 of the defense. The penalty is declined. The points are good.
So Adazio opts to keep the points on the board. 3 of them. Boston College extends their lead 10-0 here in the first quarter. Dream start for these Boston College fans. 10-0 the lead after an interception thrown by Carter Stanley, the Kansas quarterback. Leads to a field goal for the Eagles. Danny Longman had a kickoff for the Eagles. 20, wide open spot here, 25-26 before being brought down. That's Carter Stanley now under center. Pitch out to Puka. Just stops. He can just stop on a dime and pick it up again, but he's only able to pick up a yard after all that.
Yeah, a little jump cut, collects his footing, and a really good edge set by Joseph Sparacio. He's been a guy who's filled in for injured Isaiah McDuffie, who has an injured leg in spring ball. Joseph Sparacio has done really well and set a great edge there. He made Puka stop and cut back.
Stanley now out of the gun. Quickly out here to his receiver, trying to make a man miss. Couple on the tackle that time, bringing Kwame Lassiter down. Vinny DePalma, one of them.
These throws right now, they're rhythm throws. They're trying to get Carter Stanley confident in his arm. And you see the little bubble screens out to the wide receiver, a couple slant passes. And they want him to understand that he has the skill set to be successful. You just have to have confidence and read the defense correctly. Then they'll start throwing down the field later in the game.
3rd and 3. Stanley back to pass. Tries to go downfield and has a receiver open. He makes the catch inside Boston College territory. Stephon Robinson.
They don't need to wait until later in the game. They just do it the next play. And that, you saw that right there. A perfectly thrown ball by Carter Stanley. And he just needs that confidence that he can make those throws. Talking to Les Miles, he said, I like this guy. I really like this guy. He has all the intangibles. He just needs to play relaxed.
27 yards on the pitch and catch. This time Puka has a lot of room up the middle. Vinny DePalma makes the stop, but not until a 9-yard gain downfield. And now Kansas wants to go quickly. Boston College substituting wholesale on the defensive end.
And everybody's spread out. All the linebackers are outside the box except for one lone Vinny DePalma in the middle, and he's got to cover 2 gaps. And when you have to cover 2 gaps, Puka Williams can find the open one. Got that big pickup.
High formation now for Kansas. Stanley taking his time before snapping it. The pitch out to Williams, and he can get to the edge. He got the corner. He does. Inside the 20, another first down, 7 yards on the pickup. Jayhawks moving.
Showed his speed there, and we talk a lot about his speed, and he has some patience too, but that one was just pure, hey, they have guys all stacked in the box. Let's just toss it outside and let you go do your thing, Puka. Puka did.
Puka's got 32 yards rushing here in the first quarter. Herbert now the bigger back, spelling Puka Williams.
2 tight ends in the game now as well.
It's like 1982 in the Big 8. Faking the handoff to Herbert. Stanley's got a receiver wide open in the end zone for a score. Jack Luavasa with his first touchdown puts Kansas on the board.
It really was a good play. Watch right here.
clears out the middle of the field, just sneaks right in behind the linebacker. It's a perfectly thrown ball. This is what Les Miles was talking about all week. He said, my guy, I like my guy. We can do this. He just needs to relax. And I think this touchdown drive, we saw him relax and settle in. Just really has to be good and stay consistent this entire game.
Carter 4 for 4 for 62 yards on the drive. Luamasa finishes it up. 10-7. Kansas comes right back. This one just got a lot more interesting with Kansas driving down the field and scoring a touchdown to make it a 3-point game. Here's Levy from his 2. Gets tripped up at about the 27-yard line. That's where BC will take over. Kelsey, you're down to the Kansas sideline.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. I was actually right. Touchdown happened. Obviously very exciting for this team, but maybe more exciting than normal just because of what that did for not just the team, but Carter Stanley, to get him a little more confident heading into the next drive, the next possession. Will be interesting to see how they handle it going forward, but definitely excitement from this Kansas team, all the way from the end zone, all the way to when they got over to the sideline with the team. Everybody celebrating.
Yeah, a little momentum. Now BC taking over, and they got a little away from what they did so well early in the game on that last possession. Now handing it right back to number 2, but he's going to get dropped for a loss. Jay Deneen was there, and the Jayhawks are fired up now in the defensive end.
They are. This is momentum shift in Jayhawks' favor. They got away from the run game a little bit and tried to give A.J. Dillon a spell, but not anymore. Going back to him early.
Going back to him again here after the loss. He's going to muscle his way for about 6 yards on that carry, but he'll bring up a 3rd and long.
BC right here, another 3rd down, 3rd and long. They've been so good in the run game, haven't had too many 3rd and longs this season, but this is where you're going to see Anthony Brown's arm. You got the dangerous Zay Flowers at the top of your screen. See if he gets involved.
Brown has time. Hits Flowers. Good call on that one, Mark. 1st down for the Eagles.
Seems kind of like anytime you need a big play, you're either going to give it to number 2 or number 4. That time Anthony Brown found his guy right sitting in the middle of that zone.
BC back at it. Dillon sidesteps the first tackler. Maybe picks up 3. They'll give him 4. Dillon's the type of back, it looks like he picked up a yard, and it's 4 yards. He just falls into players and gets 4 yards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's funny because, he just did a little spin move coming off the sideline, too, just to practice. But it's funny. You're exactly right. He looks like he's getting hit, and sometimes you grab low and just kind of falls forward with his big body.
Bailey to spell him, but they got the jet sweep. And this is where Flowers has had so much success already this year. He had 8 touches coming into this game. 6 of them were runs. And he has just been that explosive element that this Boston College team, I think they've been looking for over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they have. And they had a guy, Jeff Smith, number 6 last year, provide a little bit of it. And Zay Flowers is a little bit more this year.
3rd and 1. Brown gets to Bailey's hands. What can he do after the catch? Makes a few men miss. Inside the 30, still on his feet. Bounces his way to the 20-yard line. 1st down for BC.
Yeah, right before that play, they had the running back split out a little bit wider than usual. And sometimes that means that you're going to see a screen and get the ball in his hands. And hey, it wasn't A.J. Dillon, but they have so much confidence in David Bailey to catch the ball and go and be a bowling ball just like Dillon.
Dillon back in the game, now flanking Brown in the gun. White again in motion. The fake to Dillon, the tight end wide open. He'll walk into the end zone. That's Cor Abadrizi, Boston College. Another 6 on the board.
Playing for Boston in the stands. BC faithful is loving it. See a student section there, and Cor Abadrizi said, "Yeah, give me some more of that." Feels good for the big guy. Sometimes they get him in the blocking game and doing dirty work at fullback, but right there he snuck in behind the linebackers for a touchdown.
Boumerion for the PAT. Splits the uprights. And BC back to a 10-point lead. How on earth did Adrizi get this wide open?
Let me show you right here. He's right here in the slot, and this linebacker just stays put. Cor Abadrizi sneaks right in behind him And it looks like the linebacker's just staring at the quarterback and has no concept that there's a tight end right in behind him. And Steve Adazio thinks that that's how he can keep the defense off balance, is keep 2 tight ends on the field and still run hurry up. That way they can have their entire run game package as well as their entire pass game package. And you see right there, the soft hands of their tight ends allows them to do that.
Jamal Horn back to receive this kick for Kansas, picks it up at his 15. He has some room outside the 30 to the 40 near midfield. Finally pushed out of bounds in BC territory by Danny Longman, the kicker. So Kansas starting in good field position. Carter Stanley now back at the helm for Kansas. Tapuka tries to dance his way for yardage and picks up positive yardage. Still on his feet. Counted off at about 5 yards before Joe Sparacchio brings him down. That'll be the end of the first quarter. An entertaining quarter it was. Boston College got up to a 10-point lead. Kansas came back to close the gap. Back to 10 as we go to the second quarter with Kansas moving the football. Got a road trip to Fayetteville someday. Meanwhile, I'm here in Boston College, though. 10-point lead for BC heading to the second quarter. Carter Stanley fakes to his running back as a receiver. Wide open downfield. 15, 10, 5. Inside the 5 down to the 1. Andrew Parchment was wide open across the middle. So many receivers in this game on both teams are running wide open down the middle.
Yeah, he was wide open, a lot due to Puka Williams was lined up in the backfield, and he sprinted out to his right, defense's left, and that drew a linebacker out with him and opened up that spot down the seam for Parchment. Watch Puka right in the backfield. He sprints out to his left, to his right, the defense just runs with him, and that opens up that lane for Parchment to get right back in there behind the linebackers.
Carrying the ball to the goal line. Is he in?
Like
Hudson Hall was the ball carrier. The officials now signal a score.
Wow, just like that. Big pass by Carter Stanley to Andrew Parchment. Get down the field to the 1-yard line, give it to your big boy for the score. And watch the offensive line by Kansas. This is something that they've really lacked, is that ability to move a defensive front this season. And they got movement on Boston College on that one and got their big fullback in the end zone.
Liam Jones now to try the PAT for the Jayhawks. It's good. 17-14 now. Kansas refusing to go away. Stanley, by the way, has not thrown a pass tonight that has hit the turf. He's 7 for 8, and the only incompletion officially was caught by a Boston College player as an interception. BC not wasting any time. They substituted, so the officials now giving Kansas a chance. Brown in the shotgun. Hands it off to Dillon. Just moving the pile, give him 5 yards. That's a typical Dillon run right there. Looks like nothing, 5 yards at the end of it.
We asked Les Miles how he was going to tackle these big backs. He said, "Wait, we got speed. If we can get enough guys to him, we can bring him down." You saw about 5 defenders have to tackle on that play.
Dillon again. Surveys the defense, picks up 3. Flipping a 3rd and short. Drew Prox making one of those. How many tackles did you say he was going to make on the day? 35.
Yeah, I had 35. That's going to be, I'm going to take the under on my own bet on that one. However, he is going to be busy, and he has been busy so far this season. It's 20 tackles already over 2 games.
If we keep going up and down the field like this, he might get those 35. Bailey now spelling Dillon for a moment. Oh, Bailey, nice move in the backfield. And look at him move that pile into Kansas territory. That'll be a first down.
Josh, and look at his good feet. 240-pound back. Look at his feet right here in the little boop, right around the defender. Almost didn't even touch him. And then you get the offensive linemen and tight ends just pushing you forward for the first down.
Deneen had a shot in the backfield, couldn't get him. New set of downs for Boston College. Dillon trying to bounce it outside, can't. Picks up maybe 2. Najee Stevens-McKenzie on the stop. Steve Adazio. This is bread and butter. Seems like the yardage has been tougher to come by, though, since that one drive where he accounted for almost all the yards early in the game. Brown this time fakes it to Dillon, uses blocker very well, and gets into the second level. Picks up maybe 6 on the play, but a nice job utilizing that tight end, bouncing out.
They love those bunch sets Boston College does, and Chris Garrison, the tight end, just came back and was a one-on-one ISO block, and Anthony Brown set it up perfectly to get those extra yards.
And Brown's going to keep it on 3rd and 1, trying to utilize that surge. He's going to be right at the yard marker. It was right at the 25. If that's where they spot, that's going to be enough, I believe, for a first down, but they're going to measure here. Officials unpile the pile, and now they just give him a first down. It's on the other side of that 25-yard line, so a fresh set of downs for Boston College. Feels like the last 3 or 4 drives in this game, every one has been met with another drive by the opposition in equally methodical way. This is the 12th play of this drive for Boston College. Here comes Zay. Trying to get a block in the edge. Kansas did a good job of pursuit that time. Picked up maybe 5 yards before Elmore Hempstead and a whole slew of Jayhawks forced them out of bounds.
We talked about Zay Flowers on the ground last week. And, 3 carries, 92 yards, no receptions. You saw right there what he's doing on the ground as well.
Dillon just muscling his way, a couple of yards maybe on that carry. Jelani Brown for the stop.
A 3rd down and about 4 here, and the last 3rd and long, they saw a screen pass to their running back, and
We'll give it to Dillon, and he's met in the backfield. Shakes the initial tackler, but he isn't able to get to the first down. Drew Prox is there and stops him for no gain. Now what will Coach Adazio and Mike Bajaki and the offensive coordinator do here? They've spelled Dillon. They've brought in David Balin. Looks like they're going to go for it. And they do. Brown outside behind his receiver, Kobe White, and Kansas is going to take over defensively.
That's a tough 4th down stop by Kansas. Looking good. They're getting the ball back. Looks like they can answer with another punch of their own.
Welcome back into Boston College. I'm Kelsey Riggs, standing here with Boston College Athletic Director Martin Jarman. Martin, they are excited behind us. You've got to be pretty happy about this atmosphere for a Friday night game.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, our students came out. We got a lot of energy and momentum here. Football's 2-0, so things are going real well on the Heights.
And you've done a lot in your 3 years here to kind of build to this atmosphere and this energy. Tell me a little bit about some of the changes and how you think it's being received from the fans. Obviously pretty well.
Yeah, you know, we've been blessed. We've been fortunate. We've been fundraising a lot, building a lot. New football field house, new baseball, softball complex, new recreation center just opened a month ago. So a lot of energy, a lot of momentum. We're happy, and we're going to keep pushing.
All right, this team isn't stopping either, Martin. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, thanks, Kels Martin. Kansas isn't stopping. They're moving the football once again. Kwame Lassiter, who's been Carter Stanley's favorite target so far in this first half, picking up another first down for KU.
Big missed tackle by Nolan Borgerson on that play. Allowed a lot of yards after the catch.
And wide open, Lassiter again down the middle. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Brandon Sebastian making the tackle, but just wide open receivers running downfield.
Yeah, and this is part of the patience. If you want to beat a zone coverage, you have to have patience at the quarterback position, which you did not see last week from Carter Stanley. Right now, he's settling in, feeling comfortable, and finding these open windows in this Boston College defense.
The handoff to Puka Williams, 175 pounds, and he puts his shoulder into it and picks up maybe 4 yards on the carry. John Lamont, first time I've called his name tonight. He was in on the tackle for BC.
Yeah, John Lamont, he just keeps me put in this bind. This middle linebacker position for Boston College is having to control 2 gaps in the line of scrimmage when he's the only person in the box.
Puka trying to find some room and doesn't find anything. TJ Rom just filling up that middle. And so it'll bring up 3rd down for the Jayhawks.
Boston College has not brought much pressure from the linebacker or safety position. I think on this 3rd down, they really need to get after the quarterback. They haven't been able to create much with their front 4. Look for them to bring pressure, play some zone behind it, but they got to get Carter Stanley off his spot.
Fake to Williams, and he'll keep it. Leaps over the defender and picks up a 1st down.
Carter Stanley just went vertical on this Boston College defense. Les Miles is sitting there like, oh my goodness. I like this guy.
He told us sometimes this kid needs to make plays with his feet. He can do that more often.
Oh, I don't know if he wanted to do that. I don't know if he was talking about hurdling defenders.
Look out to Charlotte, makes one man miss, spinning again, makes another one miss before running out of bounds. At the 14-yard line, that's where they're going to rule him out. First time we've called Dalen Charlotte's name, the young man who transferred from Alabama after a year with the Crimson Tide. And a game-winning touchdown catch in Kansas's win week 1 against Indiana State.
He has a national championship under his belt, doesn't he?
He does, he's got a ring. High formation now for Kansas. Puka reverses his field now, tries to find room, can't find anything. Maybe loses a yard. Rom and company were there to meet him.
Really, really good job by Joe Sparacio again on the edge. Setting that edge, forcing it back to big number 99 on the inside, TJ Rem. Boston College thrives in that. That's what they see every day in practice. 2 backs, a tight end. They can play run defense against that. It's when you spread them out and try to run it up the middle. That's when they've been struggling this game.
3rd and 6 for Kansas. Herbert, the bigger back, now in the backfield, flanking Stanley. They'll get the carry. Inside, still has room on his feet, powering close to that 1st down marker. BC brings him down right at that 9-yard line, right at the mark.
See the end of the play where that ball actually gets to. Look at him drive his feet. Just keeps on moving. He's got one leg wrapped up and falls forward. It looks like he gets right past that 9-yard line. The refs agree to give him the 1st down.
1st and goal for Kansas. The drive continues. Now under 5 minutes left to go in this 1st half. The pitch to the receiver coming around to the end. Stiff arms the defender, but a nice job on the outside by Boston College. Like Brandon Sebastian was out there keeping the edge.
Can't tell you how hard that is to do at the corner position, to fight off a blocker and keep the edge of the defense. And you saw the rest of Boston College's team just flying to the ball. That's going to go down as a 1 or 2 yard game, but that's huge for this Boston College defense, not to get circled on the outside.
Stanley keeps it himself. The 5 lowers his shoulder this time instead of trying to leaping the defender. Picks up 4 on the play.
Ooh, man, heard a big hit there too, and it kind of looked like the quarterback was delivering most of that one. Carter Stanley lowering his shoulder, saying, hey, I'm a tough guy too. I can play with you guys.
6'2", 198 pounds is Carter Stanley, so he's not the biggest of quarterbacks. Khalil Herbert dots the I. Stanley back to pass. Looking to the corner of the end zone. Has a receiver that's caught for a touchdown. Andrew Parchment.
What a throw by Carter Stanley into double coverage, but what he does so well on this play is he gets some loft under the ball, gets it over top of both defenders and hits his wide receiver in the back of the end zone, and it looked like for a second it was going to be intercepted, but he does such a good job placing the ball where only his receiver can get it. Andrew Parchment pulls that one down for a big score.
Jones hits the PAT. Stanley 4 for 4 for 56 yards on that drive. He's completed his last 10 passes. Kansas has stormed into the lead here on the Heights. The Kansas Jayhawks growing in confidence with every passing moment, just finishing off an 11-play drive. Carter Stanley, after throwing an early interception, has been on target all night long, hitting his big receivers. Andrew Parchment, one of them on the left, just caught that touchdown pass, and Kansas has the lead here tonight.
One thing that I love that Carter Stanley's doing is he's letting the game come to him. He's not trying to force things in there. He's pretty much taking what the defense is giving him, and unfortunately Boston College's defense for them has been giving them a lot.
Levy brings it out from near his goal line, spun down at the 27-yard line. Lines in the backfield. He'll take the handoff, trying to get to the outside, which he does. 35, knocked out of bounds near the first down yard marker. He'll pick up right about 9 yards.
Guess who tackled him? Drew Proxon. Sideline to sideline linebacker running all the way out there, knocking Ben Glines. Mr. Swiss Army knife can do a little bit of everything out of bounds.
BC will look to move quickly. Glines again in motion. Clock winding down here in the first half, getting to 2 minutes. Brown has all kinds of time. And the receiver up in the middle, it's his tight end. Oh, Hunter Long made a man miss. He fumbled the football, but fell on it as well. Mike Lee was down to make the stop, but finding his tight end in the middle. Big first down for Boston College. Long makes up for the block in the back, picking up the first down. Now Bailey in the ball game. He changes direction, but a nice job by Kansas and Lee again making the stop.
Hunter Long had a great route, and really it was Anthony Brown extending the play. He didn't go to him early in the down. He waited for him to get open and use his speed to get away from the defender, hit him in stride. Hunter Long did make up for that penalty.
Bailey on the toss sweep. Met and dropped at the 21. Nice tackle by Bryce Tornado. Boston College has 2 timeouts, under a minute and a half in this first half, clock winding.
Third and 6, third down already. It seems like it was, they just got that long play, and all of a sudden we got 3rd and 6 again.
2 tight ends split wide with Bailey in the backfield. Brown looking for one of those tight ends. Man, that was a tight window, and he was able to connect. White in motion. Double reverse.
Oh, there he goes.
Wide open, and he'll walk into the end zone. C.J. Lewis credited with the touchdown pass. Anthony Brown with a touchdown catch.
I think Anthony Brown was over there on the sideline watching Carter Stanley leap over defenders and put his head down and truck guys. He said, hey, let me do something out of the ordinary. Friday the 13th, full moon after all, let me catch a ball. And you had a wide receiver, C.J. Lewis, throw it. He was a high school quarterback. You know he can make that pass. Anthony Brown caught it for the touchdown.
Mary adds the PAT. Did I not say at the top of the show that weird stuff was going to happen tonight?
Yeah, not just on top of my head with the Mohawk either. On the field. And look at this. You got a double reverse. And right there, number 11's in the game. The defense needs to say, this doesn't seem right. We haven't seen this guy before. The reason why he's in is because he was a high school quarterback.
45 seconds left to play in this first half. Danny Longman. Good kickoff for Boston College. Jamal Horn waits at his own 3-yard line. From the 11. Loses his shoe. Tries to come across the field and gets dumped at the 15. Herbert trying to make something happen here, and does. A big run for the Kansas back. 50, 40. Stiff arm still on his feet. Has a blocker in front of him. 15, 10, 5. Dives for the pylon, and they're going to rule him out of bounds at the 3-yard line. What a turn of events. Final 30 seconds of the first half, you think Kansas trying to be conservative deep in their own end.
The ruling on the field is 1 step First down.
Herbert goes 82 yards.
That's close. It looks like his right pinky toe might have grazed that line. Let's see.
Don Williams is the tailback. He'll get the carry, puts his shoulder in. He picks up maybe a yard. And now you see Les Miles. He's forced to take one of those 2 timeouts remaining with 13 seconds left. Luka Williams now in the game for Kansas. Fake to him. Stanley looked to throw in the back of the end zone. Has a receiver just off his fingertips. Mason Fairchild was right there at the back of the end zone, and he was open too.
Oh, he was wide open, and that's one Carter Stanley wants to have back. He's played so well up until this point. It just gets the ball out a little bit late. Right over the top and runs out of room in that end zone.
Third and goal for Stanley.
Now we got third down. Can't tell you how big goal line stands are for a defense and how deflating they are for an offense.
Herbert back in the backfield, Stanley from the gun. With the quickly throw to the end zone, touchdown! It's Parchment again.
Really good catch by Parchment on that play. John Lamont was in the middle of that defense and flashed right into the passing lane and tried to get his hands up, but the ball seemed to just scoot right through his hands into Parchment's.
He threw that through more traffic than you'll find on the Mass Pike at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
Oh, and that's impossible to get through. That's impossible to get through, that's for sure. But yeah, the concentration on that catch is great. And you see John Lamont there right in the middle of that field goal block formation. Stunned that he wasn't able to get a hand on it.
Jones gives Kansas the lead once again. Kansas will get the kick at the start of the second half as well, with the 4-point lead on the road here against the Boston College team that has been nothing but impressive in their first 2 games of the year, including a win right here 2 weeks ago against Virginia Tech, where they looked fantastic. Kansas looks like a completely different team this game than they did last week against Coastal Carolina. Kelsey is standing by right now with Coach Adazio.
Coach, this has been a game of shifting momentum. I know that's not the way you wanted your team to be coming off the field right now. What will you say to them in the locker room?
Well, we got to go in and make the adjustments on defense that we need to do to stop the run. And we just got to keep moving the ball on offense, steadying the boat, come back out here and get going.
Coach, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Kels. I told you at the top of the show, we got a full moon. It's Friday the 13th. Weird stuff is going to happen. That's one of the weirdest halves you'll ever see. Kansas comes back to take the lead at the half, up 4. So we're at the half here at Chestnut Hill. Kansas on the road with a 28-24 lead over Boston College. Kelsey Riggs is standing by with Coach Miles.
Coach, you told us headed into this game how much you liked Carter Stanley. Starts off with an interception, has been nearly perfect since then, ends it with that touchdown. What'd you say to your quarterback at the half?
I thought it was courageous. Everybody looked at that. Oh no, this is the spot where Carter Stanley is no longer. No, he came back in and played hard. He stays on this track, and we'll be happy with him for a long time.
Coach, thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
I would say so. Kelsey's 13 of 15, 165 yards and 3 touchdowns with just that one early pick.
Yeah, I think courage is a great word for it. I mean, it's really easy to just throw the bag in when you start off with that interception, but he came back, and as you just laid out his stats, they're absolutely fantastic. And if you can play that way consistently, if you can continue to complete the passes that are given to you, hit your wide receivers that are open down the field, that's what separates you as not just a good quarterback on a decent team, but a great quarterback on a really good team. And that's what Les Miles hopes to see from this quarterback moving forward.
Last 4 scores in the first half, back and forth to give the lead back and forth to each one of these teams. So Kansas receiving the second half kickoff. That's Jamal Horn. 20, knocked out of bounds at the 25. First down on Kansas' first possession here the second half. Give to Herbert, wide open to midfield. making another man miss. Still on his feet at the 40-yard line. 30, 25, 20. Knocked out of bounds inside the 15. Another huge run by Khalil Herbert.
Kansas offense looks like they've got this figured out. And you watch this right here. There's one linebacker off the ball, and he just can't find his way to the open gap. And this is exactly what Kansas wants to do.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, you see the end of this play and got that huge game, but it was a flag down on the
Personal
field.
foul, tripping by number 5 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty and replay first down.
And that is a costly penalty against Stephon Robinson.
See if we can see at the bottom of the screen right here. Yep, you can't lead with your legs, especially on a block. That is a trip all day long. Can't tackle someone like that. You can't block someone like that either.
So a big play coming back, and it'll be first down for Kansas from their own 49 when all is said and done. And Williams will be dropped for no gain. Ram again, he was piling up the tackles. Crawford was there as well for the Eagles.
So you're seeing Kansas offense alternate between a spread 2-by-2 look and then a 3-by-1 look, trying to put the inside linebackers in a bind. Able to get some running lanes up front, but Crawford made a great play.
Pitch to Herbert. Dancing in the backfield, can't really find any room, picks up a yard. Crawford and Valdez combining to make the stop. Third down and long now from midfield. Can BC regain the momentum in this game and make a stop?
Big third down. You see number 47, Sheeta Salah, their edge rusher at the bottom of your screen in the game. BC's showing pressure. Are they going to drop back in zone, or are they going to come?
They drop back. Stanley Parchman again to the 30, 20, knocked out of bounds inside the 20. Now make it at the 21. These two are some kind of combination.
What a fantastic throw by Stanley. Boston College did bring a little bit of pressure, but dropped the lineman back, and they were playing a 3 deep, 3 underneath, and Elijah Jones just got caught looking at the quarterback and let the wide receiver sneak in behind him.
Gilden Williams on the stretch. 20. Stays on his feet before stepping out inside the 10. Another big carry for Williams. Mehdi El-Atrak again had an opportunity to make the tackle, and Williams slipped it, picked up a first down. First and goal for Kansas, their first drive of the second half. To give to Williams. He's dropped to 5. Maximilian Richardson was there. First time I've called Maximilian Richardson's name all night long.
Yeah, and he's a guy usually are calling all the time, and he's usually able to get the ball, but Kansas has been able to pull him out of the box and run where he's not.
The fake to Puka. Stanley, dangerous pass, almost picked off on the deflection. Wow. Joey Luchetti was there. Look at Luchetti almost on the deflection, and he might have been able to run for a while.
Brand Sebastian does a great job getting in the wide receiver's hip pocket and just comes back. And Joey Luchetti came to Boston College as a tight end. 6'7", almost gets that ball. Ball's incomplete. Now, huge third and goal for Kansas offense.
Herbert flanking Stanley in the backfield. Stanley looking to throw. Now comes to the right side, flushed out of the pocket. Nowhere to go, just throws it out of the back of the end zone.
So that'll be one of the few incompletions on his stat sheet, but that's a good play by the quarterback. Everything was covered front side. Boston College finally shored up their defense and forced Carter Stanley to scramble and get the ball out, and he didn't force it into his receiver. He just threw the ball away, knows he has the lead, knows that he's within Liam Jones's range, and comes out to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, here's Liam Jones, as you mentioned, a 24-yard attempt for the lefty. Trouble with the snap. Outstanding job by the holder, Donovan Gagan, to get that snap down so Jones could split the uprights. He does, and Kansas extends their lead, 31-24, after a field goal on the opening drive of the second half. Kansas has outscored Boston College 24-7 since the end of the first quarter. Thanks to that man right there, Carter Stanley, who has really put together an outstanding game, especially considering the fact that last week against Coastal Carolina at home, he threw 2 picks and 107 yards, and the passing game was completely non-existent for Kansas. Not so tonight. No,
not so tonight at all. And Carter Stanley knew going into this prep week he needed to be better, and he came out and he is better. And it's a refreshing take for this Kansas offense and Kansas fan base as well.
Look at Levy carrying it over the 40-yard line, so a good start and a good opportunity for Boston College. Dillon gets it past that first level, picks up 7 yards on first down. Hard running by A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon had a monster first half, 22 carries for 131 yards. It's only possible if we start to spread the defense out a little bit.
Stays in the block this time. Brown under pressure. He's going to get dropped.
He got drilled.
Azur Kamara leveled Brown.
And he got absolutely drilled right here late in the play. Watch Anthony Brown. First he avoids the sack and then just gets absolutely leveled from his blind side. That'll be in the back of his head.
First sack allowed by Boston College in 7 quarters. Fumble on the play. Ball still loose. And it looked like Boston College was able to fall on it.
And A.J. Dillon looks like, or no, Kobe White got to the ball and corralled it.
Jake Burt looked like he was going to be close to a first down, and then the ball popped out by Mike Lee.
Mike Lee got his helmet right on the football and popped it out. Kobe White, really a big-time recovery. Boston College have to punt this one away, though.
Grant Carlson back to punt. Kwame Lassiter awaiting it, calls for a fair catch at his own 13. Kansas will take over after the 39-yard punt. They're up 7.
So far this game, a team that could really got in the hole after last week, a tough loss, turning around this game.
On first down, Parkman again on the receiving end, slips another tackle and another one, picking up about 17 yards on first down, and that's going to be another big gain. And this is how bad things have been for Kansas. Remember, the Mark Mangino area was not bad.
Yeah,
it's actually
Orange
very good.
Bowl.
Went to the Orange Bowl, beat Virginia Tech, went to 4 bowl games in 6 years, but since then, it has been awful in Lawrence, and even the first 2 games this year really didn't hint that anything on the horizon would be happening anytime soon. But this game tonight, completely different for this Kansas team. Already midway through the third quarter, Stanley keeping it inside Boston College territory, takes another hit, this time from Lamont, but a 9-yard pickup on first down.
What I'm noticing is Boston College's defensive line, defensive front is not able to get off blocks. They're not getting their hands extended, they're not shedding, and they're not able to get to the quarterback. A lot of times when you have these broken plays, and that looked like it was almost a broken play, the D-line needs to make a difference to make those broken plays count.
Give Stanley 8 on the carry, 2nd and 2. To give to Herbert. He gets through 40. 35 to the 30. Gets a great block on the outside, inside the 20, pulls his way into the 13. Another fantastic block by Stephon Robinson downfield, springs Herbert for a big gain of 35.
Kansas has this Boston College defense figured out, and Boston College is scratching their heads. And you watch the blocking downfield by the receivers. Number 5 right there in your picture. At some point, you got to get off these blocks. Shed, and get to the ball.
Williams tries to bounce it outside. Now reverses his field. He's in trouble. Squirts away, though. He just about gets to the line of scrimmage. That looked like it was going nowhere fast, and it didn't go anywhere, but at least it wasn't a big loss for Williams.
When you're that shifty and that fast, sometimes you rely on your shiftiness a little too much. You have to hit a hole and get upfield.
There's always the story with Barry Sanders.
Exactly.
He was always dancing around, but he made stuff happen because he was just so talented. 2nd and 10. Delay. Williams has all kinds of space. He'll score.
Puka Williams just runs right up through the middle of this Boston College defense. And watch right here. You have one linebacker who's responsible for 2 gaps. It's because Kansas spreads out the defense. You can't choose. As a linebacker, you're going to be wrong. And Puka Williams finds that open gap. That's what we've been talking about all game. They're exposing that middle linebacker position. And Boston College has tried to do a little bit here and there, but it has been all Puka Williams on this drive. Right up the middle, going into Boston College end zone for the touchdown.
Puka Williams just found the end zone. Kansas 38-24 over Boston College. 5:25 left to go here in this 3rd quarter. That has been owned by the Jayhawks really ever since the end of that 1st quarter. Kansas has completely outclassed Boston College here in Chestnut Hill. It has been a shocking turn of events that just continues here with Kansas out of the Big 12. As inept as they were offensively against the likes of Indiana State and Coastal Carolina in their first 2 games, they've been outstanding tonight here against Boston College. Now Levy trying to make something happen on the return, and he does, out to the 36-yard line. He's actually been a weapon for Boston College on these returns. They just haven't been able to do that much when they get the football. And to Dillon up the middle, bashes his way into that line, picks up maybe 3 yards. He just went over 3,000 career yards, but I'm sure he would trade just about all of them here for a victory tonight. It's going to be hard to come by. Dillon's going to have to play a central role from here on out, that's for sure. Moved into 6th all-time on the BC rushing list. This time a fake to him. Brown wants to go up top, out to his tight end, Adreezy. Can't come up with it. Defended nicely by Najee Stevens-McKenzie.
This is another example of Anthony Brown throwing into really tight coverage, and
they got a hand full of jersey there, but got away with it.
Hands on early, and there's always some bumping between tight ends and linebackers right at the line of scrimmage, but looked like he had Zay Flowers down the field a little farther. Just wasn't able to find him with his eyes.
3rd and 12 for Brown. Flushed out of the pocket. Tries to find Dillon. Covered very well by Drew Prox. BC will have to punt.
We talked about right when we started that drive, seems about 5 seconds ago, Boston College needed to work methodically down the field. All they did was methodically throw the ball to Kansas defenders and constantly knock down incompletions, almost interceptions, and Boston College is now on a quick turnaround. Hey, how can we stop Kansas's offense?
Carlson to punt it away. End over end kick. Kwame Lassiter says just get away from it. Sideways bounce. And the Eagles will down it at the 28-yard line. Kansas and that man back on offense when we come back. Boston College offense talking things over on the sideline, particularly the offensive line, about how on earth they're going to be able to turn this thing around. They need to score some points while their defense out on the field needs to find a way to stop Kansas' offense, who has just been churning and burning since the end of that 1st quarter.
Boston College needs to change up their defense. They're having 4 down linemen continuously and just getting run all over.
Another delay. Here's Williams. Stutter steps. Picks up about 3 on the play, maybe 2 yards. Vinny DePalmo is there to make the stop. So for the first time in a while, Boston College holds Kansas to a minimal gain on 1st down, and now KU's behind the chains a bit.
Yeah, and now you got right now, Kansas is doing something that Boston College is like, thank you, goodness. We have a tight end and a fullback on the field. We can play against this.
You saw Parchment being taken off, going into the locker room. Here's Herbert, another huge game for Herbert.
Maybe they can't play against that, and they're being really exposed right now. And
25 yards by Herbert. He has 180 yards rushing on the day. Williams has 92 yards rushing on the day.
And you watch the linebackers, they just float over top, and when they went over top the offensive lineman blockers, it's just a big cut back door. And credit to Herbert for finding that lane and getting upfield.
Williams now. He bounces it outside, has a lot of real estate. Inside the 20, inside the 15. He goes over 100 yards on the night.
It's not a good sign. I'm watching Marcus Valdez, number 97, the defensive end. He's got his palms to the sky saying, like, what is going on? Where is everybody? And he's frustrated out there, and you see his grimace. And a lot of times you got to hold your gap, and you're relying on your guys to be there, and they're just not there right now.
Parchment back in the game for Kansas. Dom Williams got in the eye. Pitch to Williams. Nowhere for him to go. Cuts it back though. Picks up maybe a couple of feet. Not much more than that. Clock continues to wind down. Inside 2 minutes here in this third quarter. Quarter that has been absolutely owned by that man and his team, Les Miles. Les Miles told us during the week, I want to stress to my team, we are not the same Kansas team, and they are certainly not playing like the same Kansas team we've seen over the past 10 years tonight. Stanley back to pass. Into the end zone, trying to hit Parchment. Just a little over his head.
Yeah, it was actually a really good play design, running Parchment out on a wheel and up, and the ball was actually really well thrown. Parchment just couldn't get his feet underneath him. I don't know if that had anything to do with how he was shaken up earlier in the game, but he just wasn't able to get his feet underneath him and get his hands up, and Turf did a little number on his shoulder pads there.
Third down now and 10 for Kansas. Big moment here for Boston College to just try and get this defense off the field. Stanley again back to pass. Has time. It's Williams. Cuts it back inside. Can't escape the defense, though. Good flow by Boston College, and they'll force Kansas into a fourth down. Bryce Moraes and company were there.
Really good job by John Lamont on that play. He knows athletically he's not going to be able to match up, but he just kind of sits back, lets the runner come to him, and slows him up just enough to let his posse come from inside out and make the tackle. It's a big play right there. You need to force that fourth down in the kick, and right now you're down 14, and getting that to 21 would be devastating.
Liam Jones on to attempt a 30-yard field goal. Again, outstanding work by Donovan Gagan to get that hold down, and Jones puts it through. 41-24. Kansas has scored the last 21 points in this game to open it up in the final seconds here of the third quarter.
Still have a quarter left to go. You don't need to necessarily score too fast right now, but the premium on getting touchdown on this drive.
Travis Levy, he's had a successful night. Returning kicks, he has returned a lot of them. Here's another one. He'll get it on the 6. Comes near side again. 25. Knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Deep in their own territory, though, Boston College, starting 1st and 10. White in motion, now comes back around. The fake to Dillon. Brown, near side. Well covered that time, but an outstanding catch by C.J. Lewis.
Anthony Brown just throws an absolute dart on the sideline. Let's see if he's able to corral that before he goes out of bounds. It looks like he is, and that's just a fantastic catch by C.J. Lewis, who we saw throw a touchdown pass earlier in the game.
2nd and 1, Dillon gets free. Still on his feet, just trying to power for every yard he can. He'll pick up 9 and a first down.
It's really interesting watching him run. I don't know if I've ever seen a running back take on so many hits with his back and just drive guys forward.
That's the end
He
of the
does
third
that.
quarter.
They got to work this horse.
Kansas on the road takes a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Can Stanley and company hang on? You're watching ACC Network Football presented by Dr. Pepper. That man right there, Les Miles, is the architect of what is a big early season upset if they can hang on here in the fourth quarter. The tight end, Hunter Long, on the catch, and BC's moving quickly.
Well, now you got to get away from the run game. You just can't afford to waste time running the ball. Dell might get the ball out in the flats or something, but it would be interesting to see if they got away from their 12 personnel with 2 tight ends in the field, and so far they have not.
Brown has Glines, and the defender going up top that time, Kyle Mayberry, just deflecting the ball. Otherwise, Glines may have been gone.
Money Mayberry is 2 drop picks in this quarter. Oh man, that one right there. Glines is open, and Anthony Brown just is not throwing the ball with confidence right now.
3rd and 4 for BC. Brown has time. That's Glines again, but with very minimal gain, it'll bring up 4th down. Kyron Johnson was there to put the stop on it.
Obviously, you got to go for it on 4th down, but take your time a little bit here at BC's offense. Get the right play in. You don't need to rush right now. It's more important to get this 1st down.
Dillon in the backfield. He'll get the handoff, and he's close, but I'm not sure he got there. He was tripped up in the backfield. Mike Lee submarined in and may have dropped him short of the 1st down marker to gain. Lee and Tornaden were there to make the stop.
He did it there, and they're well short.
The Kansas fans in attendance here let out a cheer. Mike Adazio has no answers. Kansas up 17. Full moon tonight in Chestnut Hill. Strange things happen when the moon is full, and we've seen some strange things tonight. Kansas, they haven't won a road game against a Power 5 team in 11 years, over 11 years, and here we are. They're 6 minutes and 48 seconds away from doing it emphatically tonight at Boston College.
Hey, Coach Sloan, you like that? You like that? You like it? You like that?
Puka Williams shakes a tackler. Picks up about 6 yards on 1st down. And
when you have a team that's used to losing, you got to get them a one big win. This tonight would be a big win for them.
Milestones. Winning on the road against a Power 5 team. Opening up Big 12 play next week against West Virginia with a win at home to go 1-0 in conference play. If you can do that. 2-2 overall. What a start that would be.
Calls their 2nd timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Let's see what Kelsey has to say, because she's right down there at the sideline. Kelsey?
Yeah, guys, I don't know that you necessarily see this much celebration often with about 6.5 minutes still left in the game, but from the players to the coaches and even the Kansas fans that are still here, everybody definitely soaking in this moment to be up so big when people, for lack of a better word and way to say it, I mean, people just didn't expect this out of this Kansas team and this Boston College team tonight.
Well, Tom Williams is going to get stopped for a loss of a yard, and BC will call the timeout, stop the clock, and look to get the football back. But they are in need of a 4th quarter miracle if they're going to want to pull this win out. Thompson back punting for Kansas. That's more good news for the Jayhawks. He'll try and kill this one inside the 5, and he does.
That's really good. That's impressive, and he knows his team knows it. Gosh, it's really chip shot.
Brown trying to move Boston College quickly. Burt is tight end. Will pick up about 3 yards. Overshoots Kobe White. It'll bring up 3rd down. It's sort of back to the drawing board a little bit for Boston College, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, we talked so much about how Anthony Brown has been more efficient throwing the football, how he's been able to go downfield more often and more successfully in the first 2 games of this year. Tonight, a reversal. Brown hit as he throws, can't connect.
Well, one of the things that I talked about, we covered Boston College week 1, and we saw them live versus Virginia Tech, and one of the things we talked about was, in order to get over that 7-win mark that Boston College has been unable to surpass, was going to be based on the play of Anthony Brown and how well he was able to manage his team and conduct them down the field. And the first 2 games, he did a great job, and in this game, he hasn't been able to do it. Getting some boos from Boston College faithful, the ones that are still left in the stands. I think there's about 6 of them.
And College reevaluated. Now maybe they will go for it from their own 6.
All right.
And they will. Brown back to pass. Knocked away, and Kansas will take over. Microcosm right there. McCullough with the defensive play. And Brown just cannot connect with his receivers tonight. As Kansas takes over, much to the chagrin of Steve Adazio. Kelsey joins us with more on the Miles family. Kels?
Well, guys, a win like this would definitely be sweeter with your family around. As you mentioned, both of his sons on the team. His daughter is here as well. I spoke to her before the game, his older daughter. His wife also here. Les Miles told us yesterday, Mark, you touched on it right there, who could be luckier in life? Most important people in his life are around, and his sons have definitely been involved in this one. And when they're not on the field, also very active on the sidelines as well.
Yeah, and his youngest daughter in high school in Lawrence right now won a state championship on her softball team last spring. Herbert looking to power his way into the end zone, right to the goal line, and he's in.
Touchdown, Kansas.
The dream night for Khalil Herbert continues. 187 yards in his first touchdown of the night. He joins Puka Williams with a score. All smiles for Kansas.
Once again, getting those yards over the middle.
The ball right at the line. I don't think he can overturn that. All scoring plays are reviewed, but that one looks like it is going to stand. And to the chance of Rock Chalk Jayhawk in the background, Jones doubles up Boston College. We saw Syracuse look, terrible against Maryland last week. Will Virginia also fall prey to that?
North Carolina lost to Wake earlier.
And Wake's pretty darn good.
Yeah, Wake is
good. Wake might be that sort of that surprise team that comes out of the pack like we've seen every year. Pitt played for the ACC title last year. Syracuse was a 10-win team. Someone's going to come out of the pack. It might be Wake Forest.
If Wake's good,
points on the board.
If Wake's good, don't they always seem like the sleeper?
Dennis Grossell will take over for Boston College. Final 5 minutes and 44 seconds of this game, presumably the sophomore from Ohio. He'll look to throw, finds C.J. Lewis. Lewis is brought down after a minimal gain, 5 yards. Carter Stanley, what can you say about this kid? Maligned all week long, coming off that performance last weekend at home against Coastal Carolina in the loss. And he played his tail off tonight. Pressure on Grosso, and he gets dumped. After he gets rid of it, it'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Carter Stanley really bounced back. Absolutely, was taking brutal beating.
Grounding. Number 80 was in the area.
He was taking a beating on Twitter and in the media, and people were calling for him to be the backup this week. And his coach stood by him. He sees what he sees in practice and sees the strong arm and his ability to make plays on the ground with his legs. Daylon Charlotte and Andrew Parchment had 2 really good games, and I would be scared too to have anyone man-to-man against those guys.
Elijah Robinson getting involved here for Boston College. Dennis Grossell hitting him. Levy, jack of all trades for BC. He's been a running back, a receiver for them, returning kicks in his career. Gavin Potter on the stop, one of those exciting true freshmen that is getting playing time for Les Miles on that defense. Grossell utilizing his minutes best he can. His backup role. That may be a flag. It will be.
All the struggles we talk about with Anthony Brown, we haven't highlighted Kansas's defense too much, but they have been outstanding. Locked down, tight coverage, really good at tackling, not a lot of missed tackles. They've caused a lot of problems for Boston College offensively.
Personal foul, a late hit by number 19 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Just mentioned Potter, the true freshman out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, guilty of the infraction.
Mentioned Stephen Parker earlier, true freshman linebacker, Texas Player of the Year. Well, Gavin Potter was the Oklahoma Player of the Year.
They're best friends.
They're best
Oklahoma
friends.
in Texas.
That's got to look forward.
In Kansas.
Look good for Les Miles looking forward. Hey, look at 2 high school Player of the Year's best friend linebackers. Future looks bright for those 2.
Levy bounces it outside. Close to that first down yard marker before Ricky Thomas brings him down. Inside of 40 seconds now to play.
Interesting to see if Travis Levy is utilized more for this Boston College offense going forward. He provides a little bit of a different body type out of the backfield. You saw how dangerous he was on kick returns and punt returns today. That could be an option, getting the ball out to him in the flat, little swing passes, or just add another dimension. You want to get David Bailey and AJ Dillon off the field.
Potter making the stop. One final time for the Kansas Jayhawks. And a huge road win for Les Miles as he works to turn this program around in Lawrence. 48-game road losing streak against Power 5 teams is broken tonight.
Great job. Good luck the rest of the way.
Coach Adazio and Coach Miles shake hands at midfield. That young man had an outstanding game. Carter Stanley bouncing back from really a subpar performance from him last weekend. He was fantastic tonight.
There's a guy walking out there.
It's going to be a fun bus ride to the plane, fun plane ride home for this Kansas team. Let's get down to Kelsey and silent with the coach.
Coach, you told your players after that loss last week, we are not that Kansas team. We're different. You just beat a Power 5 team on the road for the first time since 2008. What'd you think of the Kansas team that you saw tonight?
I was proud of them. It didn't take a lot of convincing. I didn't work magic. This was a great group of guys who wanted to be special. And now they've beaten a team that's been 5 of the last 6 years in a bowl game, which is just what we aspire to be. And they're saying and singing a chant with their fans that came all the way from Kansas to see us play. It's a great deal.
When you look over there and you see them having that moment, what does it mean to you? You didn't have to come back and be a part of this program, and now you've got the opportunity to hopefully do something really special.
Coming back to college coaching was for moments just like this. The opportunity to take a player that's maybe not the best player now, but then develop him and give him technique and let him go to the field and win games like this. And these assistant coaches and the group of people that I'm fortunate to represent, just wonderful.
Coach, thanks so much. Congrats.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Kelsey. Congratulations, Coach Miles. How good can this Kansas team be from what we've seen tonight?
Yeah, they can be as good as they want to be, and they can be as good as they allow themselves to be. Coach Miles said Carter Stanley, if he just relaxes, it'll be a completely different story. Well, it was a completely different story tonight.
The Jayhawks double up the Eagles here in Chestnut Hill. 48-24 is our final score. Coming up next, ACC Traditions, Boston College. Don't miss the special look at BC's annual Red Bandana game. So long from Chestnut Hill, everyone.